Whenever we talk about food these days, it's usually in absolutes. There's good food and bad food. Kale is good for you, milk is bad for you. Quinoa is good for you, and gluten will make your insides explode. Could it really be that simple, or are we missing something when we talk about food? As unhealthy as the modern diet has become, presently up to 48% of adults and 20% of children are either overweight or obese in the Middle East and subcontinental Asia. Our relationship with dieting is just as unhealthy. The story is as old as diets themselves. You're good all week. You deny all foods deemed bad, stick to a meal plan, and roll into the weekend proud of yourself. Maybe you think to yourself, just one treat, I've earned it. But it isn't. One snack leads to an entire meal, which usually cascades into a binge day, leaving you unsure of what went wrong. You now feel an overwhelming sense of guilt, and you're weak without enough willpower. You already know how the story goes. You restrict the next day, overcompensate through the week, miserable along the way. Then come next weekend, you do it all over again. This happens so often to so many people that it has a clinical term, the binge restrict cycle. Food can be a source of pleasure, joy, and it can help bring people together. Or it can be a place of shame, guilt, and remorse. Hi, I'm Rishi, and thanks for stopping by my channel. I'm a practicing nutritionist with a background in human physiology and nutritional sciences. Here, I take a holistic and scientific approach to all aspects of health and wellness, including chronic lifestyle disorders. I use food as medicine to optimize one's nutrition, to promote longevity and healthy aging. So if you're looking to hack your health span and become the best version of yourself, then be sure to subscribe and click that bell icon so you don't miss anything. What I want to do is help people create a better relationship with food. The aim is not only to lead healthier lives, but also enjoy food without guilt. I would love to keep things simple and say we can create two distinct categories of food and classify them as good and bad. But I think, and you might probably agree with me, but that's just a complete oversimplification of food. This is more a marketing tactic, like when you see foods on Instagram with green checks and red X's. The way I think about eating is really about going back and reconnecting with our own body in terms of deciding what to eat, when to eat, how much to eat without any judgment. You start to think about food and nutrition from a place of nourishment and self-care rather than from a point of restriction or deprivation. It dawned on me that I don't eat like a lot of people. I cannot spend an hour chopping stuff for lunch. Sorry, I don't want to be a total vegetarian. Nor do I want to never eat a piece of good sourdough bread again. It came to me that the problem with diets is nobody likes being told what or how to eat. And we all have subtly different habits, not only in what we eat, but probably more important, how we eat. I work with a lot of people who struggle with food anxiety and binge eating. Firstly, more people struggle with binge eating than they would like to admit. Secondly, if you do struggle with either of these and going out to dinner with friends or family causes you anxiety because you don't want to ruin all your progress, then you are not alone. Because a lot of people struggle with it, but very few people actually discuss it. From that point, when we place a morality on food, whether food is good or bad, right or wrong, you're actually just setting yourself up for more food anxiety. When you say ice cream or pizza is inherently bad, then go out with friends and there's ice cream or pizza, you're going to be more likely to get anxiety about it because you think you're doing something bad. But when we understand that our health isn't made up by one meal or one bite, knowing no one got fat from having just one donut, just like no one got skinny from having one salad. No one lost all their progress by missing one workout, and no one got jacked and shredded by having one amazing workout. Our health is dictated by everything we do over time, consistently. What our habits are for most of our life and how consistent we are with those habits and behavior patterns is what finally matters. The more we can realize that one meal isn't good or bad, one meal isn't right or wrong, the less anxiety we're going to have with food, which is really what my main goal is, to have a healthy relationship with food. So great. Now you're thinking we can eat whatever we want, whenever we want, and there will be no negative outcomes for our health. Because there are no good or bad foods, except not really. Changing how we look and talk about food doesn't mean that we're magically changing the nutritional components. So what does it mean? One of the main arguments that people will use going against what I'm saying is, oh, so what you're saying is that I can have Pop-Tarts and pizza and chocolates for every meal? No. Just because there's no such thing as good or bad food does not mean I'm saying eat whatever you want. What I'm saying is, don't place a morality on it. Don't shame yourself if you decide to eat a burger and fries on a night out. It's okay. But that doesn't mean I'm saying eat it for every single meal. Generally speaking, to be a healthy individual, maintain a healthy body weight, and have an even healthier mindset, the majority of your diet should be made up of minimally processed whole foods with a lot of vegetables, healthy fats, and lean protein. Basically, follow the 80-20 rule, which is that 80% of the time, don't eat like an asshole. When you do eat like an asshole, though, don't treat yourself like an asshole. What we need to be mindful of from the beginning is what our goals are. It's very easy to follow trends, but we're all so individual. Do you want to gain strength, or do you want to focus on your body and mind? Do you want to get lean, cut, and shredded, or do you want to focus on longevity and improving your health span by aging gracefully? We need to first focus on these things and then try to figure out what's the best kind of lifestyle to live, what kind of food we should be eating, so that we realistically stand a chance of achieving our goal. The health and fitness community can be a confusing space to navigate. It's overloaded with opinions, pseudoscience, and proclaimed experts. While there's a wealth of helpful knowledge, it can be very difficult to figure out what's best for you. It's easy to suffer paralysis from analysis. And the truth is, it really depends on where you're at your own fitness journey. For one person, progress might be saying no to the donut because it's going to help them stay on track and help them eat fewer calories, and that's going to help them lose weight, which is what their goal is. For another, progress might be saying yes to the donut because now they can eat it without anxiety. I think a lot of people look at progress only from a physical perspective, like fat loss and muscle gain. But mental progress is huge. Mental health is massively important, and it's seriously under-discussed, especially in fitness. For me, if someone can have a donut without leading to a further binge, or have a donut without shaming themselves and feeling guilty and driving themselves to the ground, feeling like a lesser person that they failed, then that's huge progress. It's better to make the decision consciously than to slip up and make mistakes, or see them as mistakes. But if you can just say, okay, I'm going to go out tonight and have a burger and simply enjoy that experience, you'll feel much better. A lot of people will go out and eat a burger and with every single bite be telling themselves, oh, I shouldn't be doing this, and then feel terrible about it. They can't even enjoy the burger. And then when they're done, they feel so bad that they're like, I've screwed everything up, so screw it. And then they get ice cream and a brownie, and it becomes overkill. But what if you just enjoyed the burger? When you first get into healthy eating, it could be very easy to place large red X's on some foods and green check marks on others. But this might not be the best long-term approach, especially if your goal just isn't to shed excess fat, but instead rediscover a love of food without shame or guilt, as long as we're giving our bodies the nutrient it needs most of the time. We can indulge ourselves every once in a while. We can eat guilt-free while on vacation. We can kick our feet up and have a few drinks. After all, life can be pretty damn boring if you don't break our own rules from time to time. Try and keep it all in moderation, including moderation itself. Are burgers good for you? Well, it tastes pretty good, and for this meal, it's good enough for me. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. If you found value in the information I've shared, then please consider subscribing and hitting that like button.